Today we are tackling what is probably one of the most underrated road trip in New Zealand, the Waioeka Gorge. And then we're taking a steam train and then we're driving all the way back. That's going to be a long day.
This morning we are leaving Opotiki to make our way all the way back to Gisborne. Yes, after spending 3 days road tripping to get to Opotiki from Gisborne, we are just taking 3 hours to get all the way back. But it's a stunning road ahead as we're taking the Waioeka Gorge.
But first we need to make a plan on which pit stop we want to make along the way, and we have some help.
So part of what we want to do today is to drive this Waioeka Journey right here, because it's a really beautiful drive all around. And it turns out that we just did stop right here and we found a big map of ton of things that we can stop at. So Laura and I right now are making plans.
There's 6 pass sites around here.
6?
Yeah. And they're just all around us. They would have been in the hills.
Along the Waioeka Journey there is heaps of places to park, so after passing 1, 2 and 3 of them we decide to stop on the 3rd one, because if there is places to park there is probably awesome things to see. And little did we know there is! We are on a beautiful riverbank with a ton of pebbles. The river is placid, looking super calm, lined with a Jurassic looking forest, and it feels like a dinosaur could step out at any time.
So you've never heard about those woods that you use to find water? They used to use them in the Far West, in America.
No.
Oh. Well, here you are. Water's here.
Wow. Wow.
After walking along the riverside for about 20 minutes, we decide to get back on the road because we do have an activity planned later this afternoon as we take the Gisborne City Vintage Railway, and we want to see a lot more things along the Waioeka Gorge. The deeper we get into the Waioeka Gorge, the more dramatic the scenery gets, with the mountains getting bigger and bigger, towering above us, absolutely covered with dense forest. It's a really picture-perfect place. And along the way, there's a lot of official stops where it's well signposted, so it's easy to see before you need to pull over, and then there's loads of little information signs to learn more about the history of the Waioeka Gorge. The signs talk about the early history of the Maori settlers that first arrived in the Waioeka Gorge, goes on to when it became a farming area, and then talks about how this whole area has become a regenerating forest. Along the way also there are a couple of historic bridges, so we check out the Manganuku Bridge, which was built in 1928, and it's one of the rare surviving wood truss bridges left in New Zealand. We head back on the road and make our way to our next short pit stop, but there's actually a lot more to do on the Waioeka Gorge if you want to spend more time here. For instance, there's a few campsites, there's also a lot of walking tracks, but because we have somewhere to be today, we just decide to do the short things. For instance, at the monument parking area, there's an awesome little watering hole where you can go for a dip, or you can just watch the native birds, or just chillax, have a picnic and be surrounded by this beautiful, placid environment.
Those somewhat calm and shallow rivers are usually a bed for heaps of different insects. They are usually flying just right above the water, and you can see them if you pay a lot of attention, and this usually attracts a lot of native birds, and namely the fantails, which are very agile birds feeding on those little insects.
So we just found a couple of fantails which are kind of feeding, so they fly just above the water and just under the water. So they just fly just above the water and pick all the little bugs which are flying above the water. It's absolutely brilliant. We love seeing that.
It's so amazing to be able to see those fantails in action. They are super quick but super agile. Obviously our footage does not give them justice at all. Actually there is a super show that you guys can watch. It's called BBC 2 New Zealand's Earth Mythical Islands, and they have some awesome slow motion of those fantails hunting. It's definitely worth watching. Then we jump back on the road toward Gisborne.
Next time on day 278, part 2, we are jumping on board the Gisborne City Vintage Railway, taking a traditional steam train through Gisborne City across an airport runway and beyond. So join us tomorrow for the conclusion of day 278 and hit the subscribe button so you don't miss a thing and you get a reminder for every one of our awesome episodes. Go!
Waioeka. 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 Okay, Waioeka. Waioeka. Waioeka? Wow.
Waioeka.
Waioeka. God, what a word. Oh, I'm going to try to only say it once. Waioeka. Done.